Welcome to Meditation Mindfulness Journey. In this video, we'll explore a meaningful story about the power of thoughts and how they can transform your entire life. But before we begin, let me ask you, have you ever been so caught up in negative thoughts that they controlled your every action? If so, this story is just for you. Part 1, The Power of Thoughts and a Meaningful Story. Imagine this. A single, fleeting thought, lasting only seconds, can lead you down two entirely opposite paths, one toward success and happiness, and the other toward regret and loss. This is precisely what today's story will help us understand. In an ancient kingdom, a young man found himself unexpectedly thrust into a challenging situation. Known for his honesty and hard work, he earned his living through sheer effort and determination. Yet, in a moment of weakness, he allowed negative thoughts to dominate, leading him to make a decision that changed his life forever. Are you curious to find out what happened to him? What's remarkable about this story isn't just the lesson it imparts but also how it inspires us to reflect on our own lives. In today's fast-paced world, it's easy to let pressure, comparisons, and even greed blur our honesty and core values. The young man's story is a powerful reminder that our thoughts are the most potent tools we possess. Would you like to learn how to wield this tool wisely? Stay tuned so you don't miss any valuable lessons from this inspiring tale. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe to discover more meaningful lessons like this. Part 2. The story of the young laborer and the unexpected test. Long ago, in a distant kingdom, there was a young man who lived in extremely difficult circumstances. Every day, he wandered around looking for work, earning a meager income just enough to make ends meet. One day, after a fruitless day of labor, he was heading home, weighed down by disappointment. Suddenly, a voice called out from behind him. "Is anyone here looking for work?" Turning around, he saw an old man carrying 3 heavy sacks on his shoulders. The old man said, "I need someone to help carry this sack to the neighboring village. I can manage 2 myself, but the third one is too heavy. If you help me, I'll pay you 3 gold coins." Despite his exhaustion, the young man quickly agreed. He picked up the sack and noticed how incredibly heavy it was. The old man explained, "Yes, this sack is filled with bronze coins, which is why it's so heavy." As they walked, the old man kept his eyes fixed on the young man, making him feel uneasy. In his mind, the young man thought, "Perhaps he's afraid I'll run off with this sack of money. But I'm an honest person, I would never do such a thing." Despite this reassurance to himself, he couldn't help but feel burdened by the old man's suspicious gaze. When they reached a river, the old man paused and said, "I'm too old to carry these 2 sacks across the river. If you help me carry one more, I'll pay you 3 more gold coins." The young man reluctantly agreed. But before handing over the second sack, the old man warned, "You must not run away. This sack contains silver, and if it's lost, I'll be in serious trouble." Hearing this, the young man raised his voice, "Do you think I'm a thief? I took this job because I value honesty. Rest assured, I won't do anything wrong." With that, he carried the silver sack and crossed the river. When they arrived at a steep hill, the old man stopped again and said, "I can't climb this hill with the last sack. Can you carry this bag of gold for me? I'll follow behind." Though he was utterly exhausted, the young man agreed. However, the old man's constant suspicion annoyed him. "Why are you so worried that I'll run away? If I wanted to, I could have done so long ago," he said. As he carried all 3 sacks on his shoulders, thoughts began to creep into his mind. "If I take these sacks home, he'll never catch me. I could become rich and escape this life of hardship. With this money, I could marry a beautiful wife and live a prosperous life. These greedy thoughts grew stronger and stronger. Finally, he gave in to temptation, abandoned the old man, and ran straight home with the 3 sacks. When he opened the sacks, his astonishment turned into despair. Inside were only rocks and a small piece of paper. The note read, "I am the king of this kingdom. I am searching for an honest person to succeed me. You had the chance to change your life, but you let greed take over. You have lost this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity forever." The young man sat in silence, filled with deep regret. His entire life, he had lived with honesty, but in a single moment of negative thinking, he had thrown away the greatest opportunity of his life. The young man's story is not just a lesson in honesty but also a warning about the power of thoughts. Even small thoughts can lead to significant decisions, and sometimes, a single wrong decision can alter the course of an entire life. So, how can we ensure negative thoughts don't control us? Let's explore this further in the next part. Part 3, Thoughts, Our Silent Ally or Enemy. The story of the young man teaches us a profound lesson about the power of thoughts. It shows that thoughts, no matter how small and fleeting, can be a powerful tool for building a good life or a silent enemy that destroys everything. What caused this honest and morally upright young man to fall into the trap of greed? The answer lies in his unchecked thoughts. Buddha once said, "The greatest enemy is not others, but the negative thoughts within our own minds." Every action we take begins with a thought. These thoughts are like seeds planted in our minds, and as we nurture them, they grow into actions. In the young man's case, his initial thoughts were mere doubts and curiosity. But, left unchecked, they gradually transformed into greed, leading to a wrong decision. Have you ever noticed how small, everyday thoughts can significantly impact your life? For instance, if you wake up thinking, "I feel so tired today, I can't accomplish anything," that sense of exhaustion will cloud your entire day. Conversely, starting your day with a positive thought like, "I'll do my best and accomplish everything I can," fills you with energy and motivation. In today's fast-paced world, negative thoughts can easily arise. Work pressure, comparing yourself to others on social media, or criticism from those around you can make it difficult to control your mind. Thoughts like, "Why am I not as good as they are?" or "I'll never succeed," can quickly turn into limiting beliefs, trapping you in a cycle of failure. So, how can we turn thoughts into allies rather than enemies? The key lies in learning to observe and control them. Imagine your mind as a river. Each thought is like a leaf floating on the surface. You cannot stop the leaves from falling, but you can choose to let them drift away rather than clinging to them. One effective way to manage thoughts is through mindfulness practice. When a negative thought arises, instead of letting it carry you away, pause and ask yourself, "Why am I thinking this? Is this thought truly helpful?" By doing this, you can learn to view your thoughts objectively and avoid being controlled by them. For example, if the young man in the story had paused to analyze his thoughts, he might have realized that taking the 3 sacks wouldn't bring lasting happiness. Instead, he could have upheld his value of honesty and earned a far greater reward. Buddha also taught, thoughts lead to words, words lead to actions, and actions shape destiny. Therefore, to change your life, you must first change your thoughts. Plant seeds of positivity in your mind, gratitude, compassion, and confidence. These seeds will grow into positive actions, bringing happiness and success. Remember, your mind is like a garden. If left untended, the weeds of negative thoughts will grow unchecked. But with care and intention, you can cultivate a beautiful garden filled with fragrant flowers and sweet fruits. The young man's story is not just a cautionary tale, it is also a call to action for self-reflection. Don't let negative thoughts control your life. Starting today, take charge of your mind and turn it into your most powerful ally. Part 4, The Lesson, Master Your Thoughts to Master Your Life. The story of the young man and the king's test leaves us with a profound lesson: thoughts are the key to mastering life. In just one moment of letting negative thoughts take over, the young man lost a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, allowing the virtues he had upheld to vanish in an instant. This reminds us that controlling our thoughts is not merely a skill but an art of living. Thoughts shape your reality. Buddha once taught, "All that we are arises with our thoughts." The mind is everything. What you think, you become. Indeed, every action and decision begins with a small thought. When you nurture positive thoughts, you act with confidence and enthusiasm. On the other hand, letting negative thoughts creep in can erode your willpower, leading to poor decisions. Think about the times you've given up on something, not because you lacked the ability but because fear or self-doubt took over. By changing your thinking, you'll see that everything around you shifts as well. How to master your thoughts. Recognize negative thoughts. The first step to controlling your thoughts is to identify them. Pause and listen to your mind. When a negative thought arises, resist the urge to react immediately. Instead, ask yourself, why am I thinking this? Is this thought helpful? Asking these questions creates a space between you and your thoughts, making them easier to manage. Replace with positive thoughts. Once you've identified negative thoughts, try replacing them with more constructive ones. For example, if you think, "I'm not good enough to do this," reframe it to, "I can learn and improve." This shift not only lifts your spirits but also drives positive action. Practice mindfulness. Mindfulness is a powerful tool for staying focused on the present instead of being swept away by vague thoughts. Spend a few minutes each day meditating or simply focusing on your breath. When you live mindfully, it becomes easier to recognize and discard unhealthy thoughts. Plant positive seeds. Actively fill your mind with uplifting thoughts. You can do this by reading inspiring books, listening to positive stories, or simply being grateful for life's small blessings. Each day, take a moment to reflect on what you're thankful for. Gratitude is the fertile soil in which positive thoughts thrive. The lesson from the story. If the young man in the story had learned to master his thoughts, he wouldn't have abandoned his honesty for fleeting greed. The king designed the test not only to find a successor but also to impart a lesson: a true leader needs not only intelligence but also self-control. The story also demonstrates that, no matter how virtuous you are, a single moment of letting negative thoughts dominate can lead to significant loss. But the good news is that we can learn to control our minds and avoid such regrettable mistakes. Life is a series of choices, and our thoughts are the compass that guides us. Mastering your thoughts isn't something that happens overnight, but it is a skill you can cultivate. When you gain control over your thoughts, you don't just manage your actions, you take charge of your destiny. Remember, your mind is like a garden. If you allow the weeds of negative thoughts to grow unchecked, they will overtake the space. But if you tend and nurture it, your garden will blossom with fragrant flowers and sweet fruits, bringing you peace and happiness. So starting today, begin with one positive thought. With just one beautiful thought, you've laid the foundation for a better life. Part 5, A Final Message. The story of the young man and the king's test is not merely a moral tale but a mirror for us to reflect upon ourselves. It reminds us that thoughts are the source of all actions, and if we fail to control them, they can lead us to mistakes that carry a heavy price. Have you ever let a small negative thought guide you to a poor decision? Perhaps it was fear that caused you to miss an opportunity, or greed that led you to compromise your values. Regardless of whether you've made such mistakes before, what truly matters is learning to control and transform your thoughts. Remember this: your mind is the vessel, and your thoughts are the navigator. If you let negative thoughts take the helm, the vessel will drift into dangerous waters. But if you firmly take control, steering with positivity and mindfulness, it will carry you to the shores of happiness and success. The journey to mastering your thoughts is not always easy. Challenges, temptations, and life's pressures can sometimes make you feel lost. However, training your mind is a continuous process. Begin with small steps, identify negative thoughts, replace them with positive ones, and practice mindfulness regularly. The story ends with the young man's regret over losing his chance to become the king's successor. But for us, the story does not end there. It opens a door for each of us to ask ourselves, where am I letting my mind lead me? A final reminder. Cherish and be mindful of every thought that arises in your mind. Do not let fleeting moments of weakness or passing thoughts ruin the life you've worked so hard to build. Every day is an opportunity to start anew, to take control of your thoughts, and to steer your life in the direction you desire. So from this moment forward, plant seeds of positivity, gratitude, and kindness in your mind. Because you are the sole architect of your destiny, the one who decides whether your life will bloom or wither. When you master your thoughts, you also master yourself, the captain of your fate. Live your life as you wish, with a clear mind and a steadfast heart.